Who am I? Guess. Who? Huh? Who am I, guys? If you haven't seen or heard, Nicolandria got another magazine cover. Okay. And one of the pictures in there, Nick is just standing, in his, tuxedo, very casually against like a red wall with all the Christmas lights just hanging around. So very festive. He did tell us that he was going to send us a Christmas card. So this is my Christmas card to y'all. But no, seriously, welcome back to the Bad Millennial podcast. I'm your host, Liz. And wow, it's already the end of the year. December. I'm recording this on the 21st. Very late, I know, but time flies when the holidays start because the last episode was in October and I was talking all about Cardi and everything. But then the holidays came full force, like very quickly. I'm also holding down a full-time job that I have to be in person. Like I have to be there at 9, but I have to drive from home to there. So that's a whole thing to get used to because obviously I was the queen of working from home and doing freelance as well. So working in person, it's very hard to juggle your time that you are doing all the adult stuff and your responsibilities, and then being able to do your fun stuff like reading and podcasts and sleeping. So, but I'm back. And if not, at least for an end of the year kind of episode, then at least things that, I want to talk about that were kind of interesting, kind of bad millennial related, and overall just shocking, really. So, hence the episode title, Millennial Things That Shocked Me This Month and kind of this year. But yeah, let's get into it because this is the podcast where we lovingly roast our generation while also admitting that we're tired and somehow still surprised by life, even though it feels like life has been going on for way too long this year. But yeah, so at this point, you think that nothing could shock us. We're at the end of 2025, which feels like 10 years by now. We've lived through dial up, the recession, skinny jeans, and AI. So, but here we are, shocked again. So, let's start with things that shocked me that are kind of hard, but shouldn't be this hard, like habits. Like, why is being a functional adult so hard? Like, I know we called it adulting, with a little fun twist on it, but honestly, sometimes it's like it's really difficult to remember all of your responsibilities and get sleep, which is my first habit that should not be this hard. Sleep is a luxury item now. Like tell me why I'm either tracking my sleep or casually admitting that I only got like 4 or 5 hours. Like it's a flex. Like we're all exhausted, but deeply committed to just one more episode. And that's like my biggest failure is either I'm watching TV or I'm reading a book. And now I have my Kindle, of course, and it's super easy to just be up for hours reading this thing. It's so lightweight, and my favorite little matcha green color, but it's so easy to just skim through and all of a sudden you're done with a whole book and it's like 1 a.m. Guilty as charged. But also there's TV. And you get like comfy, whether you're, having dinner and just chilling and, instead of doom scrolling and turning your brain to mush, you just chill with Netflix or Peacock or Apple TV or whatever your flavor is. And that's the thing is that watching TV is so addictive, especially if you have like shows that are series like, Housewives or Traders or what's on Netflix. I just like watching a lot of documentaries, mostly murder documentaries, but like it captures you episode by episode and you're kind of like zoned out. And then all of a sudden it says, are you still watching? Or you just pause it and you happen to look at the clock and it's like 2 a.m. Which was fine, I guess, when I was unemployed. But now it's like, oh no, you have a real job to go to in the morning that you also have to drive to with a bunch of people who can't drive. So yeah, sleep is kind of a luxury, but it's one that we all have to be able to afford. So it shouldn't be this hard, but Kind of is for me. My second one would be cooking is aspirational, but not actually practical. Like millennials will somehow buy like $300 cookware, air fryers, meal prep containers, and we'll do all of that once. And then we emotionally spiral into ordering Uber Eats 3 nights in a row. So at this point, the fridge is kind of a suggestion. Um, One way to really get around that and turning cooking into a habit is planning your grocery list. Like don't order it on like Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever. Like actually write down either like notes or spreadsheets, some people like, and think about the kind of meals that you want to create for the week, be it dinner, lunch, or even like breakfast. And so once you have the idea of the meals, then you break it down to what kind of ingredients you need. And then you go on from there. So when you're in the actual grocery store, you're not just like wandering the aisles, kind of just picking up what sounds good, or you're like, God forbid, so hungry, you're just buying everything. Another trick I learned is to shop on the perimeter of the store, the outside, where you got like your fruits, your produce, maybe your breads, your meats, milk, eggs, and try to avoid the the middle of the grocery store, the meats basically of the store, because that's where you get in trouble, where it's a lot of frozen stuff, sugar, candy, just processed mess, nothing fresh. And that's how they trap you in there for hours, is because you're just like wandering through the aisles trying to find stuff. Obviously, that depends on what kind of grocery store you're at. Like Costco, you do need to go through every aisle because one, they change where everything is, like basically on a weekly or a monthly basis. So you kind of have to explore. But for your general, grocery stores that don't really change that much, try to stay on the outside to get all of your good, healthy things. And then maybe, you know, peek into an aisle or two if there's something you're really craving. Because, you know, food is meant to be eaten and enjoyed. It's not meant to be, monitored or restricted, but just, eat in moderation and cook as much as you can. And number three, a habit that should not be this hard, calendars are running our lives. If it's not on my calendar, it's not happening, you know, and if it is on my calendar, I still might cancel. I don't know if that's growth or not, you know, like it's here said, that's growth. It's growth. I mean, it's growth to have it on your calendar. At least I remembered that I have a dinner at 4 that I should be going to. Now, whether or not I do go to that dinner is up to my mood at that moment in time. But past Liz was like, yeah, dinner at 4. That sounds great. Present Liz is like, oh shit, it's 3:30. Do I need to eat dinner with these people? So yeah, another habit that should not be this hard. I guess the trick is if it's on your calendar, then that means you've said you go out, you're gonna go, um, or you've promised yourself that you're gonna do something, whether it's going to the gym, grocery shopping, getting your nails done, whatever. So if it's on the calendar, you gotta do it. And if it's not, then it's not your fault because you technically didn't forget. It's just the plans weren't made. That's my trick. So yeah, what are your habits that you know should not be this hard, but as a bad millennial, they kind of are? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to jump into common millennial struggles that continue to jump scare me. We are all one bad week away from unraveling, especially this year. It's like, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. And then one minor inconvenience hits, and then suddenly we're Googling like how to move to another country with no skills. I mean, that was the overall mood when the election happened and who won again. But there's also like minor things that just happen. Like, funny enough, I went grocery shopping this weekend and they are using paper bags only because California is all about sustainable things and plastic is bad for the environment, the oceans, planets, humans. So I get that. I get that in theory. But coming home, I'm like holding both of the handles of the paper bag and it decides to just split and break. And of course, someone put two glass jars of was it spaghetti sauce in the same bag. along with glass jars of other drinks that we had that were just happened to be in glass or whatever. And just, and I live in an apartment where the floors are like cement outside. So as soon as the bag ripped, the jars dropped, bam, everything's floated, broken. Marinara sauce, juice, yogurt looking stuff just bleeding out of the bag. So after cleaning all of that up, I immediately just went and found a pillow and scraped into it. And then I fell asleep because I was so cranky I could not function. So yeah, try not to unravel. I mean, a good scream is healthy, therapeutic, meditative, even. Some would say read a book, The Subtle Art to Not Giving a Fuck. I haven't read it yet, but, you know, try to find some tips like that where it's like, okay, something bad happens, fine, take a breath, hold it, let it out, and move on. Because that's kind of all we can do. But yeah, that sucks. Like, I was really looking forward to drinking that drink. And now I don't think I want to buy anything that's in glass anymore. Because when I tell you that ruined the rest of my night, like, I just wanted to sleep until Monday morning because that was, oh, I'm so tough. Another common millennial struggle that continues to jump scare me is everyone is pivoting constantly. You know, I would say that not having a job forces you to pivot, but also a lot of people aren't happy in the job that they're in. We all have eras. Like, I used to be in marketing and now I do strategy. Now I do content consulting and something with AI. And, before it was like, oh, you have hobbies. That's fine. You like to swim. You like to do tennis. Okay, maybe I should try out for, the newspaper club or cheerleading or whatever. That's fine. But when your pivots are connected to how you make your money, how you provide a roof over your head, food in your belly, it's hard to keep up with. And, you know, working in the tech industry, it's not as, oh, I'm gonna be at this company for like 10, 20 plus years and have like a pension and a salary forever. It don't work like that no more. Like, I remember my first tech job, the guy told me, like, people are just jumping from job to job. And that's the only way you can get promoted is to jump around from company to company to get that higher salary. And I was like, there's no way. Like, this is a great place. But then I started doing research and seeing how much other companies did pay. And, the jobs were basically the same, maybe like a little difference here and there, but like the money's piling up. I'm like, well, of course, living in California is the most expensive place in the world. Like, of course, I should try to make more money. But then, you know, AI hits, the pandemic hits, people don't appreciate human created content and art and writing and words anymore. And so they're just wanting to take shortcuts. And, it's cheaper, I guess, to fire a whole department of human beings than to sign up for an AI service or platform that's going to make everything all hunky dory and gray. Like, whatever. If you don't care that your commercial is featuring people with like six fingers and three eyes and a car that's like somehow driving on water, fine, that's your prerogative. But for the little guy like us, now we're just drowning because no one wants to hire. All of the LinkedIn job marketplace is just like fake jobs, AI driven jobs. And it's like, how do you keep up? It's sink or swim in general being an adult, especially a young adult, a millennial, but it's almost like no one has a job anymore. Like, the economy was so bad. I was almost unemployed for 2 years and just trying to figure out little jobs, freelance writing, teaching, delivering stuff, picking up stuff. Like, it's tough out there. And so the pivot is kind of like there's an art to it and also necessity to it because you have to survive. It's no longer, oh, you went to college and you majored in something that you loved and you're going to get a job in what you love. It's you get a job, period, point blank. Like, yeah, if you have hobbies, try to do that in your free time if you have any, if you have any money left over to do it. But in general, you got to master the art of the pivot, especially in this day and economy where it seems like AI has taken a lot of the jobs that required thought and talents. But yeah, good luck on your pivot. And there's no shame in pivoting constantly over and over and over again until something fits without fail. And my third millennial struggle that continues to give me a jump scare would be friendships require scheduling because, you don't hang out anymore. You coordinate. As you grow older, people have jobs, family, lifestyle changes. They move across the country. They, lose your number, get you address, all the things. They're not on social media. If you see your friends at least twice a month, then congratulations, you are thriving because it is so hard to keep up with friendships, even though we are seemingly more connected than ever. We're not just like writing letters by candlelight and sending it in the post and hoping that they get it and then waiting a week later for a response, or sending a telegram or a smoke signal. We have with the internet, we have iPhones and Androids and email and all of the social medias, but it's still hard. Like, maybe this is a problem since the beginning of time, but trying to coordinate with people to even get a phone call or schedule a meetup in person, get coffee, see someone's new house, it's like, unless you see those people every day, i.e., like they're your family or you go to work with these people all the time, it's very hard to keep friendships alive and thriving the way that we could when we were still in school and you'd see them in class every day or you'd hang out afterwards because you all lived on campus or something like that. So a lot more scheduling is required, but it is definitely a good thing to do because as much as people don't want to admit it or as antisocial as people can be, humans need humans. So what does that mean? Get your friends together, go out to eat, chat, and go home feeling so much better about life. No matter where you are, whether you have like a really successful job as a VP or, you're still delivering newspapers, like being able to hang out with other humans is so important. And I know that we all experienced this when we were going through the thick of the pandemic and we were all told to shelter in place and stay at home and wash our hands and face and everything. And, don't trust our groceries. Like, human connection is so, 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 so important. And that's also why, of course, I started this podcast because I wanted to connect with people in a way that felt authentic and genuine and not just posing for social media or TikToks, although I do love to do TikToks, of course. But being with people in real time, in person, is so much better than being alone or just doing a FaceTime or a Google Meet or a Zoom. There's something that inherently we need from other humans that we can't just get from the internet or watching them through a screen. Friendships require scheduling. And if anything, that should be one of your top habits that you make a really good habit for the rest of your life. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the part where I was really kind of hinting at in the beginning of the episode, but pop culture that had me pausing the timeline. Okay, the Nicolandria Christmas cover for Glamour. Like, Glamour itself has like on their social media tagline, Glamorandia or whatever. Like, so cute, so corny. But first of all, stunning, festive, glowing, very rich, very much. Who said we were going to break up? Who said we were fake? Yeah, that's what we thought. Okay. Like, the millennial lesson here is sometimes the glow up is the closure. You're not always going to get closure from people who were your friends or who said that they were always in your corner. And when time push comes to shove, the people who actually show up are the people who actually do matter. And so I feel like with Nick and Alandria coming from Love Island and being thrust into fame and not winning Love Island, but winning America and the world's hearts as how authentic and real they were and unexpected really shows that just living your life and sharing your story can help and appeal to others versus what this season felt like, which was like influencers run wild. So very happy. This is like Alandria's I want to say third cover in 3 months or so. This is the first one with her and Nick together. Stunning, amazing. Nick is obviously a model already, so he has covers, but this one makes my heart so happy. Like, I honestly, watching the season of Love Island, was rooting for Amaya because she was so much an outcast and just everywhere she looked for love, no one wanted to give it to her. And I believed in the Three Stooges as like a cool group of guys who I like all wanted them to couple up. But something between She Who Must Not Be Named and 404 error code just crashing out or having to be removed for racism, I started to see what the rest of the Nickelandria fans saw. That glimmer of like, well, what if? Like the way he's looking at her and talking about her is different than the way he was when he was with Sierra. And the way he goes hard with Alandria and all the challenges. Like there's something there. And I just started to it just started to catch on like wildfire. And I love Threads. I feel like it's way healthier than Twitter. But Nicolandria Nation stood up. They were like, Nicolandria and Vibe, it's happening, it's happening. And we can see it from the first date, from the first elimination, and Nick and Nicolandria were paired up. That was honestly magic. Like that's the kind of stuff you don't see unless it's like a fairy tale or a romance book where it's like these two people were just friends or they didn't know that they liked each other, but everyone could see the chemistry that they had. And until it was like a forced coupling, one bed situation, they didn't know until they knew. And they just became a really strong couple. And I'm very happy that they're able to navigate the real world and pressures of fame together and look freaking stunning while doing it. So, yes, they ate, they ate, they ate. Love it. Second thing for pop culture that made me like, what? I did a TikTok about this, but Mariah the scientist, she ain't no scientist because she just cannot see that there is no chemistry between her and Young Thug, who earlier, I guess this year, he was locked up for something and all of his jailhouse calls were leaked. And basically he was bragging about how he cheated on Mariah while in prison with all the CEOs and stuff. And I was like, and then there was like a call where he was talking to her and saying how Glorilla was like ugly or whatever. And she's like, oh, you don't think she's cute? And then Glorilla had a sample that came out. It's like, bird and blue, cheek little tweeting bird looking ass motherfucker. Like, hilarious. I made a TikTok about that. Like, go check out my TikToks. It's my TikTok is at what did I sign up for? So, but yeah, it's crazy when the internet wants better for you than you want for yourself because nothing humbles millennials faster than watching a woman that a lot of people love. She's a singer, she's really sweet and pretty and whatever, and she's kind of talented. Like watching her stay with a man who has done the absolute least. Like, I know everybody just sighed. Like, even her fans at the concert where he got on one knee on stage and I guess proposed. Like there was a screen in the back that said, "Will you marry me?" And he just like opened up the ring. I mean, I was surprised he even got on one knee, but he was like, "What you say, man?" or dog or something stupid. And she just like is looking at him, and he like tugged her, and I'm like, it's just Cardi being Offset all over again. When like Offset would do something wrong or whatever, he would basically take the spotlight away from Cardi to guilt her into forgiving him. But Mariah like was just like, put it on. And then she turns around, she like shows the ring and she's like, I guess I'm getting married. But no one said I do or accepted the proposal. So it's like, are they fiancés? Are they not? And then there was like a after interview where someone was like, oh, are you gonna have babies? And she's like, yeah, the wedding's first and then the baby's later. And I'm like just thinking, is just please say it's a joke. Just someone say psych. Please. Because this don't make no sense. It's crazy. And last thing that shook me to my core was Cardi B performing in Dubai weeks after giving birth. Now, she's postpartum for like what, maybe 6 weeks or so? Like I could barely answer emails if that were me. But meanwhile, Cardi is overseas performing in heels and Dubai chic realness covered up and everything. And she's rapping on beat, the tone, the breath work, the breath control, the dancing. It's like, it's amazing. Like the range of womanhood is truly amazing. And Cardi knows how to perform and provide a show for her fans and also money for her children and put food on the table. Like Cardi is a boss. And she doesn't need no man, really. Like she honestly doesn't need to be with Stefan Diggs or have had his baby, but we're here. We can't control anyone else's actions besides our own. But Cardi being the badass that she is and just bouncing back like that, like I will admit, I bought tickets to the February show in I think she's in Oakland or San Francisco. So I was kind of just like, oh, she'll probably just like stand there and dancing around her or whatever. And that's fine because I love the album. I obviously have the record here and I play on my record player all the time. But dude, she can perform. I am so excited. Like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so impressed. I love how she just bounces back after all the naysayers say what they gotta say. But Cardi shakes the world so that they will listen and pay attention and realize that she is not playing around. She's a badass bitch. And she's going to show you why we love her. Why, after however many years after her first album, she's still relevant and still going places. She is just proving that there's nothing that millennials, women, mothers, superstars, there's nothing that they can't do, especially when they're underestimated and no one's believing in them. And the odds are stacked against them. Like Cardi knows that currency for her is proving everyone wrong and bringing the drama along with her. Like, what can I say? Our girl is just always a topic of discussion, whether she tries to or not, as we saw with the Twitter beef with Nicki Minaj. And now the government has her name in their mouths. Like, it's crazy. And to think it's all just from a girl from the Bronx. Like, but again, when you have personality, when you are a person with talent that just hits everyone worldwide, you would get invited to perform in Dubai as well. So I am very excited for what Cardi has next year prepared for us. Obviously, her album rollout and the promo, even while going to court, like it was amazing. She is all personality all the time. Her TikTok lives, her Instagram, hilarious stories. I just can't get enough of her. Like even my mom loves Cardi B. Just like Cardi is Cardi for everybody. And I'm just so excited that she continues to give us Cardi, give us more candid moments, and truly just is herself all the time. So shocked me to my core that girl is performance ready and it is barely January. So she is working out, performing, getting ready, going to rehearsals, and her voice is still on point. So kudos to Cardi. Like yes, she deserves it. Kudos. And y'all should buy tickets if they're not sold out wherever you are at, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of the most talked about tours of the year. So yeah, that's what shocked me, rocks me to my core this year, this month. As bad millennials, I know that we're just gonna do our best to get through it. And even though we may be tired, we're still moisturized. Even though we may complain, we're still interested. It's a fun dichotomy that we have to deal with, but that's what bad millennials do best. So maybe that's the most bad millennial thing of all, being simultaneously burnt out and ambitious, healing, messy, self-aware, and still making kind of questionable decisions. If anything shocked you this month, habits, headlines, or hot mess behavior, DM me because misery loves company and content. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share The Bad Millennial with someone who also needs like 3 days to recover from one social event. Love ya. Drink some water, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.